Okay, and welcome back. Norbert Heuser is with us tonight. We're going to learn some very interesting things. For all of you who've been out and about and seen for many years now, people with body piercings, all kinds of things, face, nose, ears, places you can't even imagine. It's crazy out there. So there are interesting aspects to that which most people probably don't even consider before getting their ears pierced, etc. And it has to do with acupressure points in the body, acupuncture points as well. We're going to learn a lot about that tonight with Norbert, who's always presenting some very interesting material. Hello, Norbert. Welcome back. Thanks for being out there.
Hi, good evening to you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, my pleasure. Okay, what brought on the idea that we needed to help people, and we do, with the idea of piercings? Now, I've seen these people. I see nose rings. I see I don't know what they're doing. It looks to me like self-mutilation, but maybe I'm just not able to understand how they think, if they're thinking at all, that is. So what about this caught your attention?
Well, I don't know whether you are aware, you must be aware, that over the last few years, people become more and more crazy, more and more nuts.
They are getting, all right, they are getting crazy, they are getting nuts, and it has to do with prions. It also has to do with spike protein. That's my take on it initially. But there's more to it than that. But that's a baseline. For sure, people are getting to be crazy. I just don't even recognize some people. They've changed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, for me, the main reason for this is, but who's right and wrong, hard to say, but the main reason for me is 5G, 4G electromagnetic radiation attacking the pineal gland, which I offer to you to do in another show.
Yes.
But let's go back to the piercing. So the piercing thing is similar to the tattoo. The last show, the listeners may have tuned in our tattoo show, right? So piercing goes a bit parallel to this, which means most of the people, or many people who have tattoos, have piercings as well. It's like partners, tattoos and piercing. And I've seen many people with intensive addictive behavior. So once they're getting a tattoo, they're getting more tattoos. Once they have the piercings, they're getting more piercings. And the piercing is another plague, as the tattoos is, the new plague. So, but it doesn't matter really what's more, piercings or tattoos. What is essential, we have here working in 2-3 steps. The first thing is that you have a natural flow of finest electrical current in your body. Many people are not aware that without electricity, our body would not function. We need electricity to live. Our hearts, our brains, all the functions cannot live without electricity. We have a natural electromagnetic field, which we'll talk about in a minute. So now what happens is, once you get piercings in your skin, you create a hole. And this fine flow of energy, of electricity, running through your skin, connective tissue, is interrupted, is compromised. And all metals in and on your body disrupt the natural flow of our body's electricity. So metals in your body, whether it's tooth fillings or decorative metals, are always compromising your natural electric current in your body, which most of the doctors have no idea and never look for that when they have a patient that have certain illnesses. So let's take this as a basic of our discussion tonight, that without the natural electrical flow of electromagnetic radiation in your body, you cannot be healthy and you cannot operate. It's impossible. You need these flows. So every time you have a tattoo or a piercing, this flow is interrupted. Okay, good. And the first days after the piercing, the risk of infection is very, very high, as you have an open wound. Every time you get a piercing, it's an open wound. You have holes in your skin.
Got it.
All right. And in Germany, we did a lot of researches what the consequences are. And the consequences, the problem is, they're so widespread that these piercings cause scars and these interferences in the body. It can be headache, it can be prostate disorder, kidney disease, gallbladder, heart disease, skin disease, depression, dizziness, ear problems, glaucoma, thyroid disease. I have a complete list, I don't read them. All these illnesses and diseases are possible consequences of scars, piercings in your body. And no doctor is being taught this in university, no surprise there. And it's been not explained to people and not explained to the patients, the customers of these tattoo and piercing studios who have no education. They just buy for a few dollars a license, and that's pretty much it. And they don't need to show any medical education or background.
Interesting.
These
so
are
they
the
can just basically invent credentials for themselves and have at it. I got it.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah. So it's very unfortunate because the average consumer who's asking for tattoos and piercings has no idea what he's doing to his body. And later on, illnesses develop, and the patients nor the doctors will track it to the cause of piercings or tattoos. That's the way it is. And that's very unfortunate. It should be taught in schools, like so many things are not taught in school. Well, that's another one. Good. So we covered, I guess, this flow of energy makes sense, right, in the body?
Yeah, sure.
Good. So then we have to move over to a second part to understand the problem. To understand the problem of piercings, we have to talk a few minutes about Chinese acupuncture. According to Chinese medicine, which I came across when I was living in China and married to a Chinese lady, I cannot give you an entire workshop tonight on the show about Chinese medicine, but we just cover a small area which refers to the piercing. According to the Chinese medicine, there are 12 main meridians and 8 side meridians running like what I call highways of energy through our body. And if we please look at image number 1.
We got him. Hold on. Everyone take a look at the top of the home page and look on the left-hand side. I have to cue everybody and bring them on board. Norbert, hold on. And look on the left-hand side where it says tonight's guests. You'll see it. Click here. Yes, please click there. And then, hold on. It's not coming up here. What's going on? Click here. There it is. Look for Norbert, third hour, images. Okay? Look at images. Pull those pictures up. And make sure they load. So let's wait and make sure that everything loads up properly. Yeah, not loading yet. There's a lot of material there, so it may take a moment. There it is. Give it about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Piercings, a sure way to harm your body. And there it is. Okay, go ahead. We have the first image up there, and it's a scroll, so you'll be able to follow right along. Okay, go ahead, Norbert.
So the first image you see there, the sculpture, the head, and you see those red and blue lines, right? These red and blue lines are what called the meridians, what I call the highway of energy through your body. There are 12 main meridians and 8 side meridians. And along the meridians, you have about 400 acupuncture points. And you see the small black dots along these meridians, right? These black round dots represent an acupuncture point.
Got it?
All right. Good. So now if we go on image number 2, you see a body, entire body presentation with these meridians again, the red, the blue, and the green lines. These are the meridians. And then you see all the acupuncture points.
Got it.
Okay, good. So what's the job of acupuncture? In Chinese philosophy, if along the meridians where the energy flows, that flow is reduced or blocked, the consequence is illness. The energy must be free-floating along the meridians or through the meridians. Now, acupuncture has the job to unfree, to open up these energy blockages. So if you put two needles on such a area where you have a blockage, one above and one below the blockage, these acupuncture needles will free the block. It will open up the energy flow again so that a healing is possible. That's the basics of acupuncture. Now, you put these needles in for a very short amount of time, some minutes or some 10 minutes, whatever.
They're very, very thin needles, too, everyone. If you don't know, they're very thin, very fine needles.
Extremely. Of course, many people are kind of scared of Jesus, but when it's done to your body, you don't feel it. You don't feel no pain, You feel a very slight sensation that something happens to your skin with the needle, but the needle is so fine and thin that it creates no pain at all. You don't need to be worried about it. Now, what happens is, I can tell you from experiences over years, if these needles are put correctly, the flow of energy can be happening instantly. And it's like a thunderstorm. All of a sudden, bow, that energy flow opens up, and any consequences you had before because of the blockage more or less instantly goes or soon goes away. Good. So that's the theory, not only theory, but the practical side of acupuncture. We have to be aware of that now in order to continue our journey with piercings.
Got it.
So you saw all these many acupuncture points. Now, when you punch holes in your skin for the piercing, the chance that you hit one of these acupuncture points is very, very big. There are 400 points in your body. The chance is big you tap into such an acupuncture point. This has health consequences. As the particular acupuncture point you dive in is, in consequence, permanently stimulated. So it's not like in acupuncture where you stimulate it for a few minutes or for 10, 20 minutes. You stimulate 24/7 all year round if your piercing sits in such an acupuncture point. And this has a very bad effect on your health because the acupuncture point is overstimulated permanently.
Can it be completely interrupted? And there was like a broken pipeline, or is it just a wide area in the skin, like a quarter inch or something, and you're not usually going to completely obliterate it, but it definitely will interfere with it. I get that. Yeah,
and the problem is, again, it's permanent. That's the difference between real acupuncture, which is not permanent. It's a very short period. Now, if you hit with the needle, the piercing, which has a needle, which is a sharp edge, if you hit such an acupuncture point, that acupuncture point is permanently stimulated, and that organ and function of the body according to the acupuncture point. And this has an enormous effect on your health, which the average person does not know. And the people who set the piercings basically have no idea about this. They have no idea about what they're doing. A Chinese doctor would go crazy with these acupuncture points, and he would commit suicide, saying, "Look, what I'm doing to the patient here, it's criminal." Now, it goes that far. If we go to the next image, number 3, it's what I call an ear map, a map of acupuncture points in your ear.
Right, it's very clear. I got it. So people, a lot of people, Norbert, wouldn't believe that there are actually nerve endings in the ear for all of those organs and organ systems. They just wouldn't. It doesn't make sense. They don't understand that we are electrical first, chemical second, and that's the big secret. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, that ear, if you look there, you see many, many acupuncture points in the ear. Inner nose, inner ear, spine, hip, knee, toes, ankle, hand, wrist, abdomen, neck, lower jaw, upper jaw, inner ear, eye, face, and so on. Plenty of them. I don't know whether the listeners can read these names there, and they can always go to my website where I can bring this up and publish it for people who want to more dive into it. So now, here is the kicker. The ear of the human being is, so to speak, a small miniature world of acupuncture point. It's its own universe. So many acupuncture points you have throughout the body in all different areas of the body are, again, duplicate in the ear. Not totally all of them, but many of them, as I show there on the drawing. So you can have an acupuncture point, let's say, of your neck somewhere else on the body, maybe in the area of the neck, but all of a sudden you have a second acupuncture point of the neck here in the ear. Now, as we know, and we go on to image number 4,
okay.
We have here a woman.
Is there anything, hold on, is there anything we want to look at in the ear for all the different, these are physical locations. They go from the forehead to the lumbar spine, your heel, it's all there. Your whole body is basically, you can dial it in there electrically. Now, if you poke those points with a little fine acupuncture needle, what does it do? Does it just literally stimulate your neck, your shoulder, your arm, your wrist, your hand, your heel?
Yes.
It just stimulates it. And stimulating it means what? What does it do when it stimulates that?
Okay, it stimulates the blockage, the energy blockage. Again, back a step, we have those meridians running through your body. And if along the meridian there is an energy blockage, let's say due to an accident, to whatever, right? There's an energy blockage or reduction. Doesn't need to be a complete blockage, but a reduction of energy flow. The consequence in Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, is illness. Let's say, to give a practical mathematical example, if the energy flow is reduced between two acupuncture points by 50%, and this acupuncture point is the immune system, like now we don't have a TV, I could show it on my arm, where typically 2 acupuncture points are on your underarm. If the energy between those 2 acupuncture points is reduced or blocked, the consequence is that in this case your immune system is compromised. Now with a needle, if the doctor places these needles on these 2 acupuncture points, it stimulates that this blockage will be opened and the energy will be free floating again, which means healing.
Okay, got it.
So always the needle in acupuncture points, and acupuncture points means let's free energy blockage, because every energy blockage means a health problem, and we want to eliminate the health problem. Now in the ear, you have those many points. Now, if we look at the number 4, we have here an ear piercing with a lady, maybe man, I can't say. Because men nowadays more and more have piercings and as well in the ears. Now you see there's 5 piercings in the ear. And the chance that this lady has pierced into an acupuncture point is very big. Now if you go again back to image number 3, the ear map, if you remember where these points are sitting here, and you go to the ear map, then you see that, they're all over the place, all right?
Sure, yeah.
Now, that number 4 image was pretty easy in terms of acupuncture points.
Okay, let's go through those. There are 5 rings in this person's ear. It doesn't look like fun to me. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. That looks pretty grim. So let's go ahead and compare those rings with the points in image number 3 that show the yellow, blue, red dots on the ear. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. So you can bet your last penny that this lady, at least in 1-2 cases, has dialed into an acupuncture point. You know, there are so many on the ear that you can hardly put any earring anywhere without hitting an acupuncture point. Very difficult. You're out of luck. Okay. Now it's getting worse if we go to image number 5. Here all of a sudden we have 10 piercings.
I see it. Yeah, it seems a little bit addictive, doesn't it? As you said earlier.
Well, as I said before, like what my experience is over the years, if somebody starts with 1 tattoo, he usually doesn't stop, or she, with 1 tattoo. If somebody starts with 1 piercing, they usually don't stop with 1 piercing. They're kind of fanatic, whatever it is, and getting more and more and more. Now, then we go to image number 6, and all of a sudden you see about 25 piercings.
I can't. I mean, I just that's if that isn't overdoing it, I don't know what is. The words are gratuitous. That's self-indulgence. It's crazy, and every one of those is interfering with an acupuncture point.
Most likely everyone, or the vast majority, maybe in 1-2 cases, she just missed the acupuncture point by accident.
Crazy.
But they don't know. They have no plan, no concept.
I don't see that as being perceived as somehow beautiful at all. I just don't get it. Very strange.
Well,
all right. Hold on, Norbert.
You and I don't have them.
Hold on. We have to pause. We'll come right back to this picture with so many piercings in the ear. All right, stand by. We'll be right back. Okay, back with Norbert Heuser. We're talking about acupressure points on the body and how piercings can do bad things. All right, we're looking at images under Norbert's name.
Next, we're at number 6, the lady with the 25 piercings.
That's it. Number 6. The lady with 25 piercings. And they have to be just ruining, I don't know how many acupressure points. This is beyond belief. Wow.
Well, and then people have problems, health problems, go to the doctor can't find anything, the people don't know where it's coming from, and then they tell me, when I call me as a life consultant, I work as a life consultant, and people call me and say, I don't know why I'm sick, I did everything right, I lived so healthy. And then I look at the piercings and say, yeah, I see that, or tattoos, and they don't know the consequences. They don't know. And most doctors don't know. And the doctor will never, ever, unless he is a Chinese-trained doctor, Chinese traditional medicine, will never connect the dots between any illness and the piercings or tattoos. They will ever connect the dots. And they give prescribed.
I got it. Yeah.
They prescribe medication till the cows come home, and that's it. Hoping it will go away. Now, I to round up that adventure of piercings and doing things to your body, let's look at, you want it extreme? Well, fine, here it is. Image number 7, the extremist, which you have in every trait.
What am I supposed to say? I mean, imagine the body ink goes probably all over the place. I'm sorry, this is just not. No, it doesn't work. No, this is the ultimate in self-mutilation.
Yeah,
or maybe it's not the ultimate, but it's certainly up there.
Yeah, it's up there. I encourage the listeners tonight on the show to go back a few weeks back. You and I did a show specifically on tattoos. And if you haven't listened to that show, I would encourage you to listen to that show again about tattoos. Today is the main focus, piercing, but tattoos and piercing go hand in hand and have similar consequences, very similar consequences. And it's fashionable. Nowadays, we consider every third person in the United States has tattoos. Every third person. And the fun part is, fun in quote, that it's not only teenagers or people in their 20s and 30s. I've seen 50, 60, 70-year-old people starting with tattoos. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Do tattoos also interfere with acupressure meridians and points?
Well, every time, remember, tattoos are, you puncture your skin. And the chance, again, that you hit an acupuncture point is very big, right? Because with tattoos, with piercings, you have, for example, with one piercing, you hit basically one hole in your skin. With tattoos, you have hundreds of holes on a small surface, right? So the same situation here, but with the tattoos, as we said last time in the show, the ink disappears to like 40, 60% into your body and majorly in the immune system, where it just sits in your body, in the lymph nodes. And in the last show, I may remind people who may have seen it or not.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And they cut from a dead person who had tattoos the lymph nodes open, and you saw in the lymph nodes the paint, the dye from the tattoo. So if the guy had a yellow tattoo, green, you saw the lymph nodes full of yellow and green sitting there in the body for years on end, compromising big time your entire immune system. And the ink ends up, and some doctors told me the ink ends up, if they have surgeries, they suddenly find the ink dyes, the tattoo dyes in all kinds of organs throughout the body. And majority of these dyes are highly poisoning chemicals from the primarily print industry and car paint industry with heavy metals all over. Right. So we covered the first part, which was that the electrical flow in your tissue is compromised, and now the holes which compromise the philosophy of acupuncture. So I'm trying to contribute that the world will be a bit healthier mentally and physically. I do not feel good when I see the enormous amount of people who get tattooed and piercings, and they do not realize what they're doing to themselves. So I take it as a part of my job to try to get some education out there, which is not being published on CNN. And our school system teaches them trigonometry, which I don't know I'll ever use in my life, trigonometry, nonsense. But they don't teach the basics of life and health in schools. And this is what we'll keep doing to our children generation more and more, that we don't teach them to be just sane and logic and just nice to each other. We don't teach this anymore. So together with my team, we developed over the last 2 years ideas, how can we help tattooed people and piercing people to compensate what they do to their body. And I brought a product on the market called Smart Defender SD1 Health Protect. And this Smart Defender Health Protect, you can see here in image number 8. You carry it around your neck or put it in your pocket, but it's got to be on the body. Image number 8, and which I wear all the time, of course. And it's not a medical product, but the product intends to neutralize negative effects through the programmed information in the product. It's quantum physics. So that both the tattoo as well as the piercings can be at least partially rehabilitated. Now there's a small...
And that's SD1.
Yeah.
That's the red shirt. It's a little pendant. You can stick it in your pocket, put it in your purse, whatever.
It got to be on.
It'll work.
It got to be on the body. You cannot,
So you can't put it in your purse. Okay.
No,
pocket or wear it.
Yes,
Either way.
yes.
All right.
It comes with a 5-year warranty. And of course, like all my products, it has been scientifically tested by the BISA Institute in Austria. You see the certificate there. And on the website, there's my link. You can read the certificates and you can see the consequences before and after not wearing my product and wearing the product. So, and there's a small little trick. If you have those holes in your skin and you take the piercings off for good and you say, look, I'm done with it, right? There's a product called germ weed oil. Germ weed oil. You can get it in certain pharmacy stores, internet, and so on, germ weed oil. And you rub this germ weed oil in the skin parts where there is a problem, where you have holes, and it, to a big part, compensates for the holes you created in your skin. Germ weed oil. I don't sell it. It's available in certain stores, health food stores, and in certain internet contacts, right? But you should, and I have a friend, she talked to me, a young lady, she had a piercing around her belly button years ago. And she had so much pain and trouble that she took it off. And even years after she took it off, she still has sensations and pain from these piercings.
Huh. Well, it must have messed up some neurological channel that went by in the area.
Sure. So all the possible harmful effects caused by the pinpricks of the tattoos and the dyes of the tattoos, we have to nullify, neutralize these information in your body to try to level it out, that you no longer have the negative effect. That's our target that's been working on for the last few years. We come then to the third and last part of this problem. Well, first of all, if you look at image number 9, my opinion about medical doctors. Image number 9. To my definition, 95% of all medical doctors cannot think holistic.
Well, they don't. They're not trained to. Of course not.
No. It's just a shame, a disgrace. About 3%.
Well, Western medicine is largely a disgrace. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Come on, that's not something I want to be involved with. If I can humanly help it, broken bone, I understand. But you start messing with internal medicine and you name it, and you're in trouble. Every pharmaceutical prescribed causes side effects, and that'll begin a cascade of trouble.
Yeah.
They just do.
Yeah. So to my definition, about 3% of the doctors are good, acceptable good, and 2% in the top of the pyramid, the 2% are fantastic. And I keep working over the last 30, 40 years with those 2% of the doctors in the world. And I'm very happy and proud that I connect with many of them. So 2% of the doctors are fantastic. And they think holistic. And what characterizes them is, when I speak to them, they admit they left university and said, this is all crap, what we learned. I have to educate myself now from scratch. And after university, they start to learn what medicine is. And typically, most of them apply different technologies, different procedures, different protocols, because you cannot help to heal a body with only one protocol. You may have to do with this person a colon therapy first, and then maybe acupuncture, and then maybe up kinesiology, and then maybe up chiropractic. You have to apply different things, what this particular body needs at the moment, okay? So these are these doctors, and whatever I explained to you so far, I can guarantee you that 99% of all doctors you meet tomorrow have no idea about what I'm talking here. No idea whatsoever. But that's my kismet, my life, to fight against the windmills there. Now, we come to the last part. We have to understand that we have an aura around our body, and this aura protects us from disease. Every human body is surrounded by an energy field, namely the electromagnetic field. We all have an electromagnetic field. Now, once you usually talk about electromagnetic field, people think about cell phones and Wi-Fi and so on, which is correct, all right? But by nature, we have an electromagnetic field. As the speed of a car is measured in miles per hour, and our weight is measured in pounds, an electromagnetic field is measured in microwatts per square meter. That's the international standard. Microwatts per square meter. All right, good. So you as a human being have a value of about 80 microwatt per square meter in your body and around you.
Right.
That's your natural electromagnetic field. We're born with this one, and we can't live without it. Now, keep in mind the number 80. More than 100 is not too good. You shouldn't exceed more than 100, 120. Limit. Okay? Limit. Now, if you make a cell phone call, you have 1,000, 2,000. If you ride electric car, you have between 6,000 and 10,000, where your natural field is 80. So you are born and raised, since mankind, most likely, with 80 microwatt per square meter in your body. And this is healthy, and your body needs it. Now, you're bringing the external 24/7 bombardment from cell phones, Wi-Fi towers, GPS, smart meters, whatever you have it. They're all high-intensity electromagnetic fields. And these electromagnetic fields and radiation is bombarding our body and destroying our own electromagnetic healthy field. For me, there's no question, every third person is dying of cancer. And I hear nobody talking on CNN. Why does every third person die of cancer?
Oh, no, of course not.
Okay.
Their ideas, their job is to create the illusion that things are moving along relatively normally. That's what they're supposed to do.
So I guess that the majority of our listeners tonight are not even aware that they have a natural electromagnetic radiation field which they need to survive. So on one side, why I'm saying this today in this show, on one side, we are sabotaging our natural electromagnetic radiation we have with piercings and tattoo. We do it to ourselves. And we are sabotaging our healthy electromagnetic radiation, which we need. On the other end, we are bombarding our body with electromagnetic radiation 24/7. And sometimes people tell me, well, I don't have a cell phone. Fine. I switch off my Wi-Fi at nighttime. So what about daytime? What about the Wi-Fi from your neighbors which come into your house? You have Wi-Fi from the neighbors. You have the next towers around the corner. So you cannot escape. There is no Robinson Island where you can escape. It's too late. We are bombarded with it. So, and again, the typical doctor doesn't know anything about it. So every human body is surrounded by an energy field, electromagnetic radiation. The truth is that the entire survival of the individual depends on maintaining the integrity of this energy flow in and around our near body. Now, the moment we break the spiritual rules, we damage as well the magnetic fields. We have to live with the laws of nature and not allow to sabotage our own magnetic field. And this, at the end of the day, is a big consequence. It is damaged by our unrestrained lifestyle, what we call lifestyle. I call it death style.
Yes, fair enough.
It can be damaged by moods, fear. Every time you have fear, your immune system just collapses. It goes down. Aggressive behavior, the same. Alcohol, narcotics, drugs, it all compromises our mental and physical health. Now, the metal components of piercing in our skin contribute big time to torpedo our natural electromagnetic radiation. So we kill it by our lifestyle and by having tattoos and piercings and by living with Wi-Fi, and this world cannot survive live anymore without Wi-Fi. It's too late. It's a done deal.
Well, I don't think they're going to pull it away either. There's too much money in it.
Of course.
AT&T announced in California last week that they are now moving forward to get rid of landline phone service.
Sure.
Moving toward total control, total surveillance, total manipulation. Right?
Yes. And at the end of the day, you don't have a choice no more. You cannot say, I don't want to keep that, okay?
They're going to force you into cell and G for 5G. If they get rid of landline service, I will be very unhappy. And I'm not in California, but if it starts there, that's the test market.
Yeah,
we'll see if they can get away with it.
It spreads out. It spreads out. Same thing like we did with...
Are they talking about that in Florida?
Well, I'm not listening to the radio and TV here. But eventually you come across it, like the same thing when I came with 5G, exactly at the time where we were shut down for COVID, right? So what I've done is I developed something called Smart Defender SD9 from electromagnetic radiation, which covers 4G, 5G, and nowadays 6G, because 6G will be coming, is already on the road, is already tested. And 5G is completely nonsense. 6G is out of any rational behavior. So what I do, if you look at image number 10,
okay,
you see.
Go ahead.
You see 4 different models. I call them Protect Pro Smart Defender 4G, 5G, 6G. Yes. And depending on what you do, whether you want to protect your body only, you have again a pendant around the neck there, or you want to protect your car, or you want to protect a small apartment or an office or an entire house, 150 feet in radius, the bigger one. It doesn't matter. For every size which you want to cover, there is one product which you can use with a 10-year warranty, and again, scientifically tested by the BISA Institute. You can read the test on my websites, what it does and what the body functions look before you have the protection and after you have the protection. So it doesn't matter whether it's my company or somebody else's company. If the other companies do work, most of the product, I have to say, in this market do not work. It's an illusion. People are deceived. Sorry, I have to say it as it is. Most products do not work. So stop applying, bottom line for this show, stop applying tattoos and piercings to your body. And if you have children, grandchildren, try to influence them not to do it, to stop it, not to do it. If you have piercings, get them out of your body, because it's not only the hole which gives the problem, but the metal. Every metal in your body compromises your natural floating electromagnetic radiation. This is why we refuse metal in the teeth. Metal,
I got it.
Whenever, So, and then my image number 11 is always my message in every show I do worldwide.
Yeah.
Image number 11.
That's a classic.
Rest in peace, mankind is extinct.
This is an ELE potential. There's no question about it now. None. It'll take a little time, but they've already sown all the poison. It's induced into the populace, and it's manifesting more all the time. All right, just again, take a look at all the little, we'll call them pendants. They're very light. Some of them are not to be worn. They'll cover a 50-meter radius in a sphere.
150 feet.
Spherical. That's ST950. What?
150 feet. Now, image number 12 is my message to the listeners. It's my definition of health. Okay? Please consider, my definition of health is that your body and your mind are in harmony. It doesn't work either or. They both have to be together in harmony to be healthy. Otherwise,
well, you've summed it up perfectly.
It doesn't work.
There's the contact, improveyourlife.us. All right, it's right there on the page. Okay, Thank you, Norbert. That's quite a blue shirt you have in that picture.
Yes.
It's a very nice looking blue.
It's a nice looking man. He needs a nice looking shirt, you know?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Very, very dashing, very dapper. And the SD unit around the neck gets the message across. So there we go. Okay. SD9, 5-year warranty. It says 10-year warranty here, but either way, you're fine.
It's 10 years. 10 year.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Norbert, very much. That was fascinating. And, I like to learn, and we certainly learned.
Thank you for having me.
Don't mess with acupuncture meridians.
Thank you for having me.
Don't do it. All right. Thanks, Norbert. Take care.
You're a good man, Jeff. You're a good man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. You too.
Good night.